world? Or is it goodbye?
You know, it seems like hope and trust are in short supply. Now, as businesses, we can blame and shame, or we can make a change. We can make work for our communities.
Create more equal opportunities.
Maybe, just maybe, get a bit more unity.
I keep seeing AT&T in my brain right now for some reason.
Prioritize conservation and
empower future generations.
Let's question again what we think we know. Use our power and our people to pay back what we owe. It's time for business to show its true worth. Because it's not goodbye, world. It's hello, Team Earth. Now, let's get down to business.
That's so crazy.
Team Earth now.
So the reason why is Salesforce is big enough that they face existential risks. So think about Mark Benioff. He is one of the leading voices in the progressive movement when it comes to the Bay Area. He's a large Democratic donor, from what I understand. And he represents, essentially, in my opinion, how Salesforce stays out of trouble. At how big... Like, Salesforce theoretically does have a monopoly on the sales industry.
Yeah.
You could argue that. You could argue that the biggest threat to Salesforce would be political scrutiny. You could argue that Salesforce needs to be broken up. You could make all sorts of arguments. Now, to counter that, what kind of advertising does Salesforce do? They talk about how they are a force for good in the world abroad.
Social good.
Social good. Team Earth now, baby. So my point is advertising always has a purpose, and it's naive as a marketer, and I know I can be guilty of this, is to think that its purpose is sales qualified leads and demos. That's not what Salesforce is advertising. I mean, go to Salesforce, everyone. Go to Tech and Trust, go down to 1 year ago. Watch that. Look at what sales, down more. Look at, and one more.
One more.
Watch how they look what how they articulate their brand.
No two of us are alike. No one looks the same.
I want to remind you, this is a sales software.
The same. Sees, hears, or takes in information the same. No one thinks, solves problems, or dreams of the future the same. We don't all share the same language, customs, or culture, or have the same access to information, education, or self-determination. So when technology isn't designed to account for difference, communities are marginalized. Fundamental rights like safety and privacy are jeopardized. What if our design considered everyone? Every kind of listener, talker, walker, player, learner, user, worker, every kind of person. When we create for and with people of different perspectives, experiences, abilities, imagination is untethered. Innovation is unleashed. Connections are born, and something unexpected happens. The effect of our collective action impacts more people than we could have ever imagined. Our differences are our strength. So let's create in a way that considers everyone, because technology has the power to unlock human potential, to change the world. And together, we have the power to change technology.
See what I mean?
Yep.
So you can't tell if they're a social justice company or a sales pipeline management. And it's not that the message is bad. It's frankly, it's a great message. I think the reality is Salesforce needs that type of message for how large they are, while HubSpot needs a completely different one. And that is such an interesting part about advertising that we just very rarely talk about.
Yeah, it's like reputation management.
Correct.
Post-growth.
Yeah. Like, why does Salesforce need to advertise? To fight existential forces, like things that can take them down. What would take someone like Salesforce down? Them not being aligned with the future societal norms.
Yeah.
Right? They can't become irrelevant. They can't be stodgy and old. How do you avoid being stodgy and old? You align yourself with the progressive movement. It doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. It shows that that's a tactic that the largest enterprises in the world employ. And to think it's more than that is great. I do think Benioff genuinely cares about those things too. And that works then too when you have kind of like that type of CEO. But I think the reality is organizations at different stages of growth require different types of outcomes from their advertising. I thought today was just a perfect example and a way to show us that.